It's already week 6 of the high school football season here in Stark County, and that means, yes, it's again time for another preview review here on WHBCSports.com. And so far this year, we've heard from Dan Belford, we've heard from Ken Urota, we've also heard from Dave Sheets, and this week I have the pleasure to be joined by a former NFL quarterback, and that's Mark Miller. He is our color voice on the TV games, the Alt Care TV game, and Mark, I guess we'll get right into it. Last week, you guys were out here at Perry, where we're here today, and you saw the Panthers take on the Louisville Leopards, two teams surging at the same time, and seemed like a pretty good game. What'd you see from it?
Well, it was a good game, especially for a while, and Louisville got inside the scoring zone a couple of times, 4th and goal one time, and could not get it in the end zone. You know, they score either of those or both of those, and the score is a lot different, and down to the end, it's a little different strategy. But Perry did what they had to do. Keith Wakefield always has a plan. He did a good job. You know, the week before, Louisville throws for over 500 yards, you know, so everybody's thinking, you know, it's going to be Air Coryell again, you know, and they did. They threw it around pretty good, and they've got some talent, some young talent. They got some guys on defense that fly around, and, you know, the Matty kid at linebacker, I don't know how many tackles he had, but we said his name a lot. I know that. So they're a good team, just could not finish a couple of drives. Perry did. Perry made the big stops. The Curtis kid, he gets a lot of recognition for running back, but he made the stop on 4th and goal, broke through the line and made a tackle for loss. So they are good, both two good teams, and I think they both got a lot of wins left in them.
Perry, of course, exits undefeated. They're one of just a few undefeateds left in Stark County. They're 5-0, Louisville 2-3. You mentioned some of those kids, but that three-headed attack in the backfield, you know, you go with Leitner, you go with Coleman, you go with Curtis, and they all bring a different running style, don't they? Oh,
yeah, and they've got some other guys. Lemon, you know, he comes out and runs the ball really hard. What we were talking, especially off the air, that these kids run the ball so hard, you know, and I know they don't get a lot of carries because they really spread it out among those kids, so they're always fresh. But that is not a learned or you know, a trait that they were born with. They were taught to run like that, and they run, you know, like my coaches used to say a lot of different things, but something's on fire. You know, your hair's on fire, your tail's on fire, something, and they run like that. Man, they run hard. They run with their knees coming up. They churn for extra yards. Sometimes that, you know, that lends itself to a turnover here or there, but man, they run hard every single play, inside, outside, a three-headed, four-headed monster. They're tough to stop.
Keith Wakefield, they always run that wing tee. It's tough to stop no matter who you are in the county. Now, we'll flip to this week where you guys go to see who a lot of people believe is not only one of the best teams in Stark County, but one of the best teams in the state. That's the Ashland Tigers. They will take on the 4-1 Fitch Falcons. This is an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, it really is. Fitch has great tradition, you know, not quite like Ashland, if anybody does have tradition like Ashland, but their 4-1 record, and I was looking at it today, they don't score very many points. I think 20 is their highest scoring output, and the only common opponent so far is Harding. Ashland smashed Harding. Harding smashed Fitch. So I don't, you know, you can't draw a direct correlation, but Fitch lost a lot of guys from last year's team, so they're young. And so I don't know, you think if the Tigers get on them early, get on them often, you know, it might not be a real close game, but you know, they've played level of competition that will not intimidate them coming into Ashland and playing. But Ashland's really good. I mean, let's be honest with it. You know, I mean, they're ranked 3rd in the state, behind two teams that have had great histories the last several years, and so they deserve to be ranked up there. But this team's going to be playing for a long time, I think.
Week 15, I think it's 15 weeks has been their hashtag they've used on social media. So they've got week 15 in mind. You throw Aiden Longwell at quarterback, Jameer Thomas at running back. You have the slew of wide receivers he can get the ball to. I mean, there's just talent all over the field. Through 5 weeks for their opponents, it's almost not been fair at times.
Yeah, you're right. The running stats that the kids put up, Jameer in the backfield, is just phenomenal. And he is fast approaching some career records. And at Massillon, you think about the lineage of running backs that have gone through that place, and this kid's probably going to come away with career records in scoring and in rushing yards. So he's special. He's huge. You know, I mean, I wouldn't want to tackle anybody, but I sure wouldn't want to tackle him. But they've got the throw game. You know, they get a 6'6" Morgan receiver. I mean, you know, who's going to guard him? A 5'8" kid? That's how big my corners were in high school. You know, so they've got a lot of firepower on offense, and they just play really aggressive defense. Nate Moore's teams always do. And they're just really good, you know. And I'm happy to do the game this week. I'm excited.
Lastly, for Mark Miller, he'll actually be on play-by-play this week. Rick Worstel will be his color commentator, and then be Frank Stallone on the sidelines and Bob Jeffrey handing him note cards as he loves every week. But last thought for you, Mark, is as we are through 5 weeks and we're at this point, you've seen a lot of good games. You've seen a couple duds. I guess what's impressed you to this point? I know you were talking about a sophomore who presides over in North Canton, but you like this kid, don't you?
I like Connor Ashby. He's got a live arm, and he throws the ball very well. And what I like about him is he really takes care of it. He spreads it around. Lots of receivers catch lots of balls, and you don't see that out of a sophomore usually. You know, usually they don't take care of the ball. They try to force it in. They make bad reads. They get their favorite receiver, and that's where their head goes every play. A kid's not like that. And then you let him use his legs, and he's really dangerous. That's a good team. Hoover is a good team. Offensively, lots of weapons, lots of skill. But what I've seen in the first 5 weeks is Stark County football, which I've missed for a long time. I've been to 5 stadiums that I played in. They don't look anything like when I played in them, but they're in the same location. And that's been pretty cool for me to reconnect with, meet some new coaches, see some new players, but it's been a lot of fun being here.
I want to give you our full schedule for this week one last time. Again, thanks to Mark Miller for joining us this week. You can catch him on the Alt Care TV game of the week, which will be at Massillon as the Fitch Falcons go to take on the Massillon Tigers. The radio game this week will be at Lake as McKinley travels to take on the Lake Blue Streaks. McKinley still 5-0 after a pretty dominant win over Hoover last week. And then the stream game, WHBCSports.com with myself and Derek Philo, will be here at Perry as the Perry Panthers play host to the Hoover Vikings. There's also more in store, a bit of a pregame show, and we'll get that to you as the week goes along on 1480. Again, he's Mark Miller. I'm Jon Bozeka. This has been the Preview Review on WHBCSports.com. We'll catch you next time.